but does not accept it. The the outside the sannyas things. So similarly today was explained that although he internally very much convinced that I am the servant of Supreme Lord, but externally he is not showing. So therefore, the whole purpose when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, our whole purpose we should be firmly fixed that I just wanted to become the servant of Supreme Lord. And for the service purpose he take. Like many examples in Bhagavatam, it shows that there are many examples in Bhagavatam where internally they are very much great souls, but externally they are behaving like a ordinary or mad person. So we can see that many are the examples. I just like we see the Sukadeva Goswami example comes. So Sukadeva Goswami internally was such a great soul, but externally he was behaving like a mad person. And when he was walking on the street, we see the first canto description comes where all the childrens and they're throwing a stone on him, and then they're speaking many words about him. But he was like hardly paying any attention. Why? Because he know that I am the servant of the Supreme Lord, and I am very much convinced in that. So that he was hardly seeing any for them and just walking. But what happened? When he came to assembly of great souls, where all on the bank of the Ganges, where all the sages were waiting for to find out the answer of a Parishit Maharaj. Because Parishit Maharaj asked to all the sages, please explain to me what is the duty of a person who is going to die. And then everyone was thinking, but no one was able to reply properly. Of course, then Parishit Maharaj himself got the conviction from inside, and then he wanted to confirm with the great souls. So then, when Sukadeva Goswami came there in the assembly, then everyone got up from his seats and they pay respect to him. And then Sukadeva Goswami started speaking Bhagavatam. Then all these children or the women, they were just behind throwing stone or speaking about him. They understood he's not an ordinary person. He's a great soul. Similarly, we see that many examples. Jada Bharata example also like that only. Jada Bharat was externally not showing that what kind of a devotion he has inside, and he was doing whatever the people were telling him, like his stepmother and the brother, those who were brothers, they were just mistreating him. They were giving him this burned rice to eat, and they were giving him the service to you go in the field. In the field, you just become like this crow scare. And then take protection of take care of the whole field. And then he is happily accepted, because he was very much inside, internally he was very much worshipping Supreme Lord. And the dead of night, dacoits servants came to take him for the bali, and he went. In this way, from inside fixed, but externally he was not showing. And then when came to talk to him for preaching to the Rahuguna, then he spoke. Similarly, we can give the example of 4 Kumaras also was like that only. 4 Kumaras also, they were just wandering all the places like a small child, not showing that how great souls they are. So these are the many qualities are mentioned here, which today purpose is explaining that if not required to show our that how much required, if not required for service purpose, we do not have to need to show that how much I have taken sannyas, all these things. But if it required for the service purpose, then we should do that. So even we give example of Lord Rishabh also. At the end of his life, he accepted this kind of role, where he just wandering without wearing any clothes, and in the whole world. So these are the examples. And now we see some examples. There are some examples that they felt that it required for the service of the Lord. They felt that required for the service of the Lord to show that I have taken sannyas, and I have so then they have accepted that. We see the famous example of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when you are just preaching, but no one was giving him respect, and then he felt that if people will deal with me like that, then don't listen me, and then they do not proper give respect me, how they can advance in Krishna consciousness? So therefore he decided to take sannyas. And when he decided to take sannyas, then we know that the famous pastime that all the devotees, Nityanand Prabhu and other devotees, even Mother, Sachi Mother also was telling that, why you want to take sannyas? You are doing the same activity, you are a very close friend and you are preaching also, but why you want to take sannyas? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows that, and we also know that from the scripture that only for the sake of preaching purpose, he took sannyas, for service purpose. Otherwise, he was happily engaged in the Krishna conscious activities. We saw that the one whole year he performed the Nam Sankirtan in the night in the house of Srivas Thakur. In the daytime, they were going for places to preach. And then he was very happily with all his associates. But when need he was there, then he took sannyas. Similarly, we see that the example of that Madhavendra Puri, which is tomorrow, maybe their appearance or disappearance day is there. So Madhavendra Puri, because for the service of Lord Gopal, he need to become famous, so then he accepted. Like when we know the famous pastime of Kirchor Gopinath. Kirchor Gopinath pastime deity's name became Kirchor because of the pastime of Madhavendra Puri. So when he came to the temple of Gopinath, and then he heard that the Gopinath has offered every day very sweet, very special sweet rice. Every day he used to offer to the Gopinath, every day special. So he was thinking the mind that if I can get today to taste how the taste of that special sweet rice, so that I can offer it to my Gopal also. And then later he realized that, oh, offering is going on. How can I think like this? And then he was condemning himself, and then immediately left the place, and he went to the market. But Lord understood the mood, and then we know the pastime that he, in the night when the pujari was sleeping, then Lord came in a dream and told him, wake up and go to the pujari room. I have stolen one pot of a sweet rice, and it is under my backside. And then you can take this and give it to the Madhavendra Puri. And you are not knowing who the Madhavendra Puri. And then he took this, and then we started going there, and they shouting in the market, who is Madhavendra Puri? Who is Madhavendra Puri? For you, Lord Gopinath has stolen the kheer. And then Madhavendra Puri took that, and by the time he became very famous. And then he was thinking that if I remain here, then all the appreciation will come, all the people will respect me, they deal me so much. Then he immediately left the place. But when he went to the next place for finding the Chandan, already before reaching him, the glories was already spread there. And then, otherwise for getting Chandan, those days is very difficult to get so much Chandan from the Jagannath Puri to take to the Vrindavan, and so many in between the comes toll naka, all this security, all this thing, very difficult. But because he was become famous, to understand that become famous that Lord personally Gopinath has stolen sweet rice for him, therefore then the people easily gave it to him. So, and then he, not to speak of giving Chandan, he gave the person to carry the whole Chandan to the Vrindavan also. So these are the great souls. They have devotion inside, and they don't wanted to show their external devotion, but it needed for the service sake, then they accepted. So on the previous examples where we discussing that the internal, they were fully convinced and they are fully engaged in their services, but for it was not needed for them to externally show for any service sake, so therefore they did not show anything. So these are we can understand this is a very actually true thing only. How we can apply this principle in our life also. So these things can be really easily applied that if I need to require something for my service sake, then I accept it externally. Whatever post we get in the many temples, many services are there, different services are there. Devotee they take so many. So it need, because the spiritual master needed so many services are there in the temple, and they take. And then they do services. But if it is not needed, okay, then it is told to me by my superior and to my spiritual master, then you can engage in this kind of service where not much facility required for you to take the car or you having the personal office, all this thing, then happily should accept. This is the way Krishna conscious works. So We do not have to, because our purpose is fixed. Our purpose is, if wanted to develop love for the God and please the superior, please the spiritual master, then only things will happen. Then we don't need externally, because although the devotees have given up everything, they have given up everything in the material world, although maybe having big degrees, so many big posts, they have given up everything, and they wanted to fully dedicate himself to the service of the Supreme Lord, and they have, that purpose they have come to in the temple to join. And in that only, if they will fight, oh, I need this facility, I need that facility, then it become very distracted in the devotional service, and it will very displeases to the superior and to the spiritual master. Prabhupada give a famous example, famous story. Prabhupada tell that a spiritual master was having two disciples, many disciples, but two disciples, and both disciples were massaging the spiritual master one feet, one leg, and both massaging. The one disciple wanted to show to spiritual master that how I am good massaging to your feet. So therefore, what he was doing doing pinching to the other leg of the spiritual master, so that we feel pain, and the disciple was doing the same thing. So what happened? Result is that the pain goes to the spiritual master, and then he displeases with both of them, and then the karma got to the disciples, and therefore they displeases to the spiritual. So this way actually we can understand that bhakti is very simple, does not require too many things. If required, then our superior will identify, and then they will give us the facility. But from our side we should be also very faithful. That understanding that very difficult for me to accept this, then we can express our heart, and then accordingly they will give services. So these are the way. Many examples are there. I just take this. One more example, a famous example. Swarup Damodar Goswami. We see that Swarup Damodar Goswami is a personal associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although he is a Goswami, he has taken sannyas, but externally he has not taken the robes of a sannyasi, or we are taking the danda, or taking all the things required for to take sannyas. Why? Because his service is to assist Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and for that purpose not required to take all these things. So then he remained that I will remain in these robes, but I will serve to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like that only. So these are the examples which show that. One more great examples I can share. Actually, this is very nice example. From this we can learn that how a disciple should be very simple from his heart. It comes from the Ramanacharya pastime. One disciple of Ramanacharya, his name was Dasharati. He asked to the Ramanacharya, please tell me the meaning of this verse, Sarva Dharam Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vrija. And that time, the Ramanacharya's spiritual master, Mahapurana, his daughter came from his in-laws' house while crying that my in-laws' house, so many, they are treating me very challenging, they are treating me very badly, and they are always telling me why I do this service, do that service, and I'm doing services, but I get very tired. They tell me to do this cleaning home and immediately bring water from that is very far from the well, has to bring. So therefore, and they become late, then they will shout. So then in-law mother tells to the daughter that why your father had not given the servant to help you in service. Then she came crying to the Ramanacharya, and Ramanacharya told Dasharati, her name was Atulai something, to take Dasharati and he will do services. And Dasharati was such a great scholar, it will reveal later. So he was doing services, he was doing all the menial services, he was washing home, he was bringing water and doing so many services. It was going on, not asking to a spiritual master when I will come back, when he will call me back. No question of that time asking. But he was just serving. What happened one time, in that village, a Mayavadi came. And a Mayavadi is speaking about so many wrong things about the Supreme Lord, which he was a great scholar, he did not tolerated that thing, to hear these things about the speaking wrong thing about the Supreme Lord. And then he spoke about the proper philosophy of the Lord. And then that Mayavadi became angry on him. And he told him, you are like a servant, menial servant, who are you to tell me like this? And then later all the villagers and this person understood that he is a great disciple of Ramanacharya, was great scholar disciple. His name is Dasharati. And then the in-laws the daughter's parents, the in-laws, they went to the Ramanacharya and they fall feet onto the Ramanacharya. Please take this away, take this your disciple back. We are not knowing that we are just taking service from the great soul. So then Ramacharya became very happy on this great soul. Although he was a very scholar, but he was doing very menial services. So these are the example we can understand that when one is purpose is proper. If purpose is say that I wanted to go back to Godhead, then these things does not need it much that I want this facility, I don't want the facility, I want this thing. If it is required, then devotee will accept. If it is not required, then should not need this. One, I was sharing that Radha Shyam Prabhu was sharing this past time that like actually Maharaj says in one of the Guru Maharaj says, Radha Swami Maharaj in one of the Brahmachari class, I had also heard that point, but Radha Shyam Prabhu was quoting that when preacher goes to his preaching center where he is taking care of so many boys, and there he accepted the role of to train them nicely, so therefore he is to take the role of a superior and properly to train them nicely, so that they can become good devotee. But when the same preacher he has to come to a temple, he should not be thinking like that, oh, I am a very great preacher, I am outside, they give me so much respect, these boys, they always give me so much respect. But he should remain like one of the brahmachari in the temple. He always engages doing the menial service like other brahmachari are doing, whatever services they are doing. He should also contribute. He should not think that, oh, that better when I come to temple, then I have to do so many services which I don't like. Better I will go to stay in the center, preaching center. Then what happen? Then it will not very much work for him. Then purification will not happen. So, that external respect, all these things will get facility, but the goal is to become purified. So these things will not happen. So therefore, like this time, once it happened in the Radha Gopinath temple in Chopati. So there even the president Shyamanand Prabhu, he was cleaning toilet bathroom, and one outsider person came, and he asked him about who the temple president, all this thing. Then he told he will be in somewhere, you can find it. And later he came and the temple president to meet him. And they understood, you are doing toilet cleaning, you are temple president. Then he told, this is a service we do every time. That's not something that it takes that I'm a head, I'm a temple president, or I'm a head of this department. No, services needed to please the spiritual master. So whatever spiritual master gives the service, we have to please, so that required. And then later this person told to His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj that what kind of a training you have given to your devotees. Even I see that the big temple president, they are also doing menial services. So we can understand that how Guru Maharaj will be very much happy by hearing this, the glories of devotees. So externally we take because if it is needed but internally our should be this should be conviction that I am very, very humble menial servant of my spiritual master, and whatever required for me to serve, then I should take that position. Or sometime if a position is given to go and preach, take this position or take the head of the department, then we will not accept. We think that, I will, it is very difficult for me. No, that is also other kind of, that there is not a humility. Humility means that take any post, whatever required for the service according to the guidance of a superior, and humbly serve. Maybe it is like a post of become leader, but become humble. Sir, in this way, we become very humble when you serve so many devotees. When you understand that what is the difficulties come the temple president department. Temple president, he has to deal with so many varieties of devotees, so many varieties of. He has to deal with the internal devotees, he has to deal with the external challenges, so many things will come. So like this, we can say that how the devotees only required to purify, for the work on for the purification, whatever role he has to play, he can take it. So like this, just I will conclude in next 2-3 minutes. So that one of the lecture I was hearing that how this self-realization comes. Like there are stages, we know that for first person before coming to Krishna consciousness is like in ignorance. Ignorance means he may be outside world, he is having big degrees, but no knowledge of the Supreme Lord and how can practice. So it will be ignorance. But when he come to Krishna consciousness, then he read scriptures, then he hear the lectures, and then he will associate many devotees also. Then what happen? Then he get the knowledge. Oh, that I am not this body, I am a soul, and so many varieties of knowledge he will get. And in this way, from ignorance, he come to a stage of knowledge. But what happen? From knowledge is not itself sufficient. Like that lecture was sharing that, as well as Radhana Swayamvar was sharing that to memorize so many verses and to speak the Krishna Leela about the gopis and Krishna is not very difficult. It requires the proper intelligence. Like outside people, they use their intelligence. They read so many things. Similarly, here also people can read so many things, great books, and then they speak also very nicely. But it remains knowledge only. It will not come to the stage of self-realization. So from ignorance to knowledge, and from knowledge one has to come to a state of self-realization. But that self-realization one required very these things only. He required a service to a spiritual master in whatever way needed, menial service to a spiritual master, and hearing, and then also working on our own anarthas. See, these are the stages from knowledge, how knowledge can turn to self-realization. Menial services, from inside your heart convinced that if I do these services, then I will be very much pleasing to my spiritual master. And then removing anartha, especially two kind of things will come. Free from the sins and free from the offenses. Sins means that after coming to Krishna consciousness, after practicing so many years, taking initiation also, still we are not properly breaking regularity principles. So all these things come to sins. So therefore, it will not helping us to improve ourselves in the Krishna consciousness. Then we get stuck there only. Although the years are passing in Krishna consciousness, but very hardly we go ahead. So these are the removing our own anarthas to free from the sins and the offenses. We know that there are varieties of offenses are there. There are Nam Aparad, Vigra Aparad, Seva Aparad, Dham Aparad. So many offenses are there. So there also has to be work on ourselves only. So when we work on these things, free from the sins, free from the offenses, and humbly serve the instruction of the spiritual master, then the knowledge turn into self-realization. So otherwise, knowledge will remain bookish knowledge only, and then will not move ahead. So therefore, the self-realization only comes with this working on one's own self. That how can I become more, surrender more and more devotee, surrender more and more, and to work on to become purified. So these are some stages where we discussed today about the example of some devotees, those who felt that great souls, not devotees, I can say devotees also, great souls, those who felt that I don't need to take externally because I don't have that kind of service. Like Jada Bharat was not having any services, or Sukdev Goswami also not having services to take sannyas, or similarly Rishabh Dev, 4 Kumaras. So they don't felt that I need to take external way, and I happily internally they are fully doing services. When we discuss that, there are some devotees who felt that I need this kind of facilities for preaching purpose. Then they took Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas because of it was very much required for him to preaching purpose. And similarly, we saw the example of Madhavendra Puri. He accepted the famous. He became famous. He accepted the appreciation of the become famous. Why? Because needed for the service to carry Chandan from the Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan. So like this, this can be applied in our life. That how can I become better servant in my life than instead of taking more and more external way. So I just stop here only. If someone wanted to, thank you very much, and to share something.
Are you looking at me? Prabhupada simple. Our lives should be very simple individually, and whatever you need for preaching, you can use that.
Like many Prabhupada disciples, still, although they are very girasthas or they are vanaprastha now, they have not taken the sannyas, but they are doing the services like the sannyasis only. Even this first time came, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to bow down to the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Although it is told that even the sannyasi, everyone has to bow down to the sannyasis. Even the parents, after taking sannyas, the parent also has to bow down. But why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that because you are helping me to remind Krishna. You are giving me Krishna. So therefore, externally, the Prabhupada disciples also still internally they are going serving. So these are the way we can understand that the service is more important than the externally taking, like we discussed. Okay. Anything else? Santosh? Stop. Okay, stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Hare Krishna. Million services and hearing and working on our own impurity. अनर्थ दो तरह के एक sin एक offense work service means we manage whatever spiritual masters. That is good. प्रभु जी का है क्लास सुनते पॉइंट्स कल का जो था अभी वही सुन रहा हूँ 5 सीरीज लेक्चर है ना 5 लेक्चर्स है सीरीज वही सुनते जा रहा था थोड़ा पॉइंट्स अभी तो तीसरा थोड़ा बहुत याद आ रहा था थोड़ा बहुत सुनते रह रहा थोड़ा बहुत इतना याद आ रहा था क्या बद्रीनाथ
by any regional governing body, His Holiness will be especially remembered for his long-standing service as a member of the GBC in North America, a responsibility he carried for many decades with seriousness and resolve. He consistently demonstrated deep loyalty to Srila Prabhupada's mission and a strong sense of responsibility for the health and stability of ISKCON in this region. Badrinaran Swami was known for his clarity, directness, and principled leadership. He did not shy away from difficult issues and spoke with conviction when he felt the integrity of ISKCON or Srila Prabhupada's intentions were at stake. At the same time, he took genuine interest in the welfare of devotees and leaders, encouraging accountability, cooperation, and fidelity to foundational principles. Even in the face of declining health, His Holiness continued to engage actively in his duties, offering thoughtful input and remaining fully committed to his service. His determination, intellectual rigor, and personal discipline left a lasting impression on those who served alongside him. That he was able to depart this world in Lord Krishna's own abode of Vrindavan stands as a powerful testament to the mercy he received from Srila Prabhupada and the Supreme Lord. We offer our respectful obeisances and heartfelt gratitude to His Holiness Badrinaran Swami, a devoted disciple of Srila Prabhupada and a steadfast guardian of ISKCON. We pray that his example of dedication and integrity will continue to guide and inspire us. We also extend our prayers to his family, disciples, and well-wishers during this time of loss. Your servants, North American regional governing body. ऐसा लिखा है. Maybe हम क्या करते संडे करेंगे सब लोग आएंगे. Sunday we'll try to do. We'll offer our prayers on Sunday. Try to do the best one. क्योंकि अगर हमने we can do अपने internal our सारे duties.